Hello and welcome to today's Wild Hearthstone deck tech and gameplay video on version 4 of Discard Warlock. Discard Warlock is pretty simple. It does work off a template and a deck I've been slowly iterating on for a long time now, where we run the Lakkari Sacrifice quest to eventually get another portal. And to do that, we discard cards by various means. To get ahead of comments, you do not need the Lakkari Sacrifice. I know this. There's also a genuine argument to be made that actually the Lakkari Sacrifice is pretty bad and is, messing up the win rate of the deck. And you're not wrong. I like the card. I think it's a good flavor piece. But you don't need to run it. And again, there's a good argument to be made to not run it at all. So, let's get that out of the way. Rest of the things are pretty self-explanatory. We have older school cards that care about, discarding. Like OG Soulfire, even now like Boneweb Eggs, are older cards that either discard themselves, 4 and above rate effect, are things that care about being discarded. Cards like Tiny Knight of Evil or Malchezaar's Imp are cards that care about when you discard other cards, not the card itself. Then you have just other ways that are very good in various ways to discard cards, like the Chamber, that gives you some more choice. The new Chrono Clause, which, while not choice exactly, you do have some control over what you're discarding. And then, of course, you just have the big scary things you want to discard. Classics like Soul Barrage and Hand of Gul'dan that lets you do the really goofy, some would argue like too strong things, and lets what should be a meme deck stay in the conversation as a genuine like contender. But anywho, that's the play. We play cards that discard cards or care about when cards are discarded. We apply a buttload of damage very quickly, and we try to win the game as fast as possible. And if it doesn't, thanks to cards like Lakkari Sacrifice, we can go on a little bit longer with the recurring imps we will make from the portal. Now, with all that out of the way, don't forget to like the video if you like it, subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and like to see more in the future, and if you have any sort of questions like I don't have X, what about Y, or other generally nice and or constructive comments, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll do what I can to respond to what I see. With all that out of the way, we'll go on now to game number 1. And again, number 1 with our little Discard Warlock. Go ahead and throw away everything but the quest. I do want to say one thing about what you see. This deck is better than the rank 3 bronze or whatever, but because, real life, from both, having a full-time job and also having to be like a part-time caretaker for family, makes recording time very limited. First, sacrifice. Makes recording time very limited, so I haven't been able to play a lot, or to record a lot, but I still do the testing for all this, this relatively chunky list of decks and videos I want to make. So this particular low rank is not a reflection on the Discard Warlock, but there are other ones that I've been testing that have ensured that I haven't been able to climb, and I also have, for being honest, I've not been super enjoying Wild as of late, so I'm just waiting also first, but in the whole addition to not super enjoying Wild just because it's really, really stale and new cards almost never make any sort of difference. So I would be lying if I said I haven't found some enjoyment out of if I haven't had some enjoyment from this almost break, since the Cataclysm expansion is going to come out soon, at least I'll have some new decks to play with, and maybe that'll help break the rut for a little bit. In the meantime, all that out of the way, we play Shadows, since we don't have anything else to really do anyway, and the Shadows we know is what's going to hit. Chrono Clause is fine. Do I care? Hang on, that's it we draw. Sounds silly, but that's like really, really important. Oh, that helps a lot, actually. Helps a butt ton. I'm actually going to trade here. One little damage. Go face. Its most expensive card is a fist. If it goes face or that, we don't care. There we go. Had a little bit of a slower start, but that's fine. Okay. That doesn't feel great. Stellar balance. Ooh la la. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Doing the Discover Quest. I thought they were doing Discover Quests, so I don't need to care that much. Sure, we'll do Tiny Knight, do a chamber, go ahead and choose to discard the Librarian. That helps. That helps a lot. Oh boy. Nothing else, we can just Tiny Knight of Evil and have the rest go face. Oh. That's a sweet little cat. By all means, Goofball, do what you gotta do. Molten Rune. I didn't even see what... Oh, I think he forged that this turn. Okay, that stings a little bit, but like, yeah. That's pretty good. Okay, so Tiny Knight of Evil. Go face. Whether the fist goes one or the other does not matter. Darkshire Librarian. Soulfire. We don't love getting rid of that, but we'll take it. In a good spot, threatening a lot of damage. What, 4, 7, 3, 10, 10, 14. Not exactly lethal, but we're getting there. This Dark Bargain's a little bit of a dead card. Guess we'll life tap. That helps. Guess we do Walking Dead, Chamber. Go ahead and get rid of the Soul Barrage. That kind of helps, but not that much. See if the Librarian can find us something better to discard. What do you gotta do? This Dark Bargain, there's a reason why it's a one-of effect. Another one of those cards that you don't really need, but I think it's better than the nerfed version of Cataclysm. Where before, and to be fair, the old school version of Cataclysm was like a little bit too strong in a list like this, so that nerf kind of needed to happen. Sorry. 2 cards, 1 less for each minion your opponent controls. You're gonna get a lot of armor. I don't. Okay, that helps. That'll do it. Nether portal, of course. Pretty easy. We'll do. And Darkshire. There we go. Then we'll play Whispers. Get a full board. Yeah, we're not gonna summon. I realize I maybe arguably should have got rid of the Artificer, but I think we're okay. My point was going to be, yeah, we could have gotten the Nether Portal, but 2 spiders with a 1/1 buff is the same, actually, stat-wise, as the Imps. So, I'm not going to spaz. Does that count? That's very funny. Maybe cast a spell. Am I crazy? Doesn't Magister, Dawn Grasp, or whatever actually cast the spells? That doesn't work like that. Okay. Learn something new. Because it does say recast. You would imagine that would also trigger, at least at the end of the effect, you would possibly gain the armor at that stage. But anywho, pretty good showing for Discard Warlock. Always a good one, always a classic, and always pretty good. With that out of the way, though, we'll go on to game number 2. And game number 2 with our little Discard Warlock. Yeah, fine. Just thinking and mulling over taking away the Chrono Claws, but I think it'll be alright. course, Lakkari Sacrifice on 1. I am not blind. What is the name of that? There's like a 1-mana beast that when you draw, like Battle Cry draws and discard, Death Rattle discards the card you drew. Can't remember the name of the card. There's an argument that those could be in place of the Librarian. I just have got to be honest, I totally forgot about that card existed until like yesterday. And I said this, I believe, in the first game, but recording time is really limited, so I didn't think about that, and I would like... That would be a big enough of a change that I would like to spend time testing it to see its effect, like at least a couple days, if not a week, like I try to do. I try to do 2 weeks, but at least a week is where I feel comfortable with an amount of testing, where like when I play Hearthstone games every day, whatever deck I'm testing is the only deck I play, and that gives me enough experience with a particular deck or a particular change in cards to like feel comfortable, you know, saying that like I like, you know, X card over Y card or whatever. And I did not have that for the dude in question, whose name I will never be able to remember. Librarian. That's fine. It's fine. See what we draw. Okay, unless we draw like a 5-cost card, this is either going to get rid of a Soul Barrage or another Chrono Claws, which we don't love. Our opponent is taking their sweet time. There we go. At least they didn't wait till the rope. That kind of changes things, actually. I think the Imp is still the right play. Gonna go ahead and coin and life tap. Next turn we can really make some stuff happen. And if we got a Chrono Claws and we get rid of the other claws, yeah, what are you gonna do? That's fine. It's all damage going face anyway, baby. Don't know what our opponent's trying to do. They're taking forever. They've done nothing but life tap, which tells me nothing. Back when Hearthstone first came out, that would originally tell me like some sort of hand lock thing, but hand lock doesn't see play and hasn't seen play in like 10 years, so it's unlikely to be different here, if our opponent is even here. Yes, sneaky turtle. Your turns take about as long as they would take a turtle, so not exactly known as a, what's the word, agile species. Oh, we're hovering. Of course, we're hovering and not doing anything, but people flip. Alright. Fair enough. Yeah. Do the claws. We lose it, we lose it. I don't care. Yeah, that's fine. We're not going to try... We don't need to be cute anymore. Our opponent isn't doing anything. We weren't even really trying to be that cute beforehand. We just didn't happen to have a particularly, like, low-to-the-ground curve we drew into. But next turn will be fine. If they summon a dude... If they summon one big dude, we have answers. If they summon some smaller dudes, we kind of have answers in the form of the barrage. Did I miss other Reform that I'm just blind? Okay, I don't think we care. Okay, so Chamber. Would love to get rid of the suffocating. To guarantee get rid of that particular Reform. Draw some cards. Darkshire's fine. Doesn't really matter what we hit. And then we go face. I don't know... I don't have enough experience against Reform list to, like, know how this matchup is going to play. Like, I know, you know, they're like a... What's the word? There's a term for, like... I think it's called parasitic mechanic, that it only references itself and doesn't reference anything outside of themselves. I think is the magic term. I don't know if Hearthstone has a term. But like all that like I know that they do is like summon and buff your other Reforms that all come from a particular that one Reform card that's fabled that has like 9 other Reforms attached to it. Though I think that I don't know if I think there's like 1 or 2 other Reform cards that happen to exist normally. I don't know like where those fit in. In the meantime, okay, so we do Claws, discard Golem. Darkshire. That's fine. I'm not gonna... I was gonna say, like, if we had the ability to attack this turn, then maybe we could just, you know, Whispers and have lethal. Spoiler Farm. Certainly is a card. I know there's the Murloc Reform that makes your Reform. Next one costs like 3 less. There's that armor one they already played. I think there's one that has like a Fell Infernal or Abyssal Enforcer kind of Hellfire effect, I think. But it hits like all your non-Reform minions or whatever. There's like, I think what the bid is there. Do I have lethal? 7, 10, 13, 13. Discarding gives me +3, +4. Is there any world that I managed to, like, get a kill here? 7, 10, 13, 13. Yeah. Am I blind? Hang on, yeah. I think we just Whispers and then go face, right? I was overthinking it in my head too much. Yeah, okay, we did have the math. Sometimes thinking about what to say absolutely borks my brain. That was already not the best at math. But then trying to be somewhat informative and maybe even entertaining absolutely kills my ability to do math. But anywho, that was Discard Warlock. Absolute classic. Always a good one. They don't really touch these cards for nerfs a whole lot. I don't know if they're ever going to be as strong as they like once were, but you'll always be able to get like good results from a discard list like this. Again, you don't need the quest. I think it's just a cute little card that I have attachment to. It's also the only video I've ever had that like got really big and, you know, had a lot of views is a discard lock that had that. So like I have a kind of attachment to the card. But yeah, you don't need that. You can replace it and be fine. But regardless of what you have in your discard list, as long as the bulk of the list is something like this, you'll do really well and you'll be in a really good kind of future-proof place. And with the new Cataclysm expansion coming out, I think there are other, even more discard cards, so you will see a discard version 5. Though I'm in one of 2 camps how I'm going to make that particular video. But anywho, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like it, subscribe if you like my grab bag of content and would like to see more in the future, and if you have nice and or constructive comments like I don't have X, what about Y, or other nice things, I'll do what I can to respond to those. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.